Welcome to the Jameson Files. I'm your host, Carrie Weber, and guess what? I have a repeat guest. My good friend, Brandi Williams, is here with me. And Brandi, congratulations. You're a part of the Come Back Twice club.
I'll take it.
I don't know.
I get a jacket.
I mean, maybe a sticker.
Okay.
But thank you for coming back and being with me. For those of you that don't know Brandi is the Chief Growth Officer for Catalyst Dental Allies, a DSO here in our home state of Oklahoma. So very proud of you and Catalyst and all the great things that you're doing in our state. But in addition to things I'm proud of you for is she's really up and coming just as an educator and an influencer for specifically office managers. I say that's a really great place that you have found a place to pour into people. With ADOM, you are the Practice Administrator of the Year for ADOM, which congratulations
Thank
to you.
you
So happy to celebrate that with you at the conference this past year.
That's so cool.
And you're also very involved with Women in DSO and other organizations, and you're finding yourself being asked to do more webinars, to do some presentations. And I think that's so great because you have a great heart for helping others find success in the things that you've learned and accomplished over your career. You're continuing to accomplish such great things. But I do feel like there's this space in your heart for office managers. Am I right?
For sure. Absolutely.
So I'd love to spend some time picking your brain a little bit. You know, you're supporting a great number of practices within your own organization, but also very connected in the office manager community. You help to lead the DPLN, the ADOM DPLN here in Oklahoma. And so just a lot. You're probably on the front lines of the voice of office managers quite frequently. And I think there's a lot happening in our profession. We were just talking before we started recording about just in the evolution and the introduction of all the different resources and tools and all of the things that are changing from that front. Not to mention simply the things that office managers or practice administrators are faced with day in and day out in their daily workflow and responsibilities. Tell me, what do you find, and I'm putting you in the hot seat, we haven't really talked about what we're going to talk about, but what do you find are the repeating struggles or issues that practice administrators you feel like are being faced with today in dental practices and in groups?
Probably a lot of what you teach about. Cancellations, keeping the schedule full, staffing, burnout, having so much to do and so little time. And then I think feeling supported too by their doctor. And it's office managing is lonely. It can be hard when you can't turn around and vent to the person sitting next to you always. So you just kind of have to take that weight home. Your poor spouse probably has to hear
Poor spouse.
a lot. Yeah.
Oh, bless the spouses.
Yeah, bless the spouses.
When you were coming up in dentistry, you were in that office manager position, so you have that direct experience. I'm sure you're still sitting in that seat. I was going to say you're still sitting in that seat quite often. Yeah. And what do you think are perhaps overlooked, but some of the most important roles and responsibilities that the really great office managers and practice administrators that set themselves apart, what are they prioritizing of all of those things that we're responsible for in the day in that position? What are the really high performing ones prioritizing in your opinion?
I'm so glad you asked me that. And I really am glad I still get to sit in the role of office manager, because I think if I weren't there, I'm not relevant anymore. So I learn more about myself and my clinics and the people that work there when I actually sit in the seat for a couple of days and really see what they're dealing with. The really great ones, one, there's relationships. So if we have strong relationships with our patients and prioritize the schedule, it's like the rest just happens. The magic happens. But if we're so busy like verifying insurance or working on outstanding claims and everything around us is burning, it's really hard to recover and try and scramble last minute to fill schedules or work on treatment plans. And if we just take care of the people that are in front of us and build a really great schedule, have a good game plan for the day, the rest just kind of happens.
But to do that, you've got to be looking ahead and you've got to be looking out, not just hiding in. Something that tell me if you agree with this, and I work with different sizes of practices and groups, and a lot of FaceTime with the office managers that are leading practices. And when I get on my rants, I often talk about, if you're spending the majority of your time in an office behind a closed door working on tasks, you're missing some of the biggest opportunities to lead that practice to a higher level of success, because you're not out there seeing, hearing, and experiencing how your team is performing. Because to me, a really high-performing practice administrator, office manager is seeing the needs, training and developing to those needs, and looking out at how to seeking solutions to fix issues or glitches or elevate performance, whatever it is that we need. And we cannot do that if we've locked ourselves behind a door, to your point, working on insurance all day long. And I think a lot of office managers probably have great skill set in insurance management. And it feels like a worthy, productive task. But if we want to go to that next level for the practice and otherwise, there's much more that an office manager can be doing beyond the tasks.
So it's definitely not growing the practice. And it is, specialized. Not everybody can come in and have that same skill set and be able to, appeal claims and know when to fight and advocate for your patients. But that's also not growing the practice or your team members around you. So.
When we were talking about earlier, before we hit record, maybe we should have hit record while we were talking, but we were talking about, my goodness, there's so many resources and tools and softwares and new technology and new services that, and you get inundated with this a lot by companies wanting to demo with you.
All day demos.
You can just do demos all day long. And your group has selected certain things and resources to provide to your practices. But my suspicion is, and I'm not necessarily saying yours, but people in general, practices in general, I know it's not a suspicion. I know this is true for most people, is that we're probably utilizing to 20% the capacity, the resources that we already have available to us in the practice.
100%.
So how do we help office managers or team members really embrace what they already have available to them to maximize it for the success of their work days?
We have to continue to train on it. It has to be continuous training. And what's crazy is there are product updates inside these platforms that you've had for the last 20 years that might have been operating this way 20 years ago, but now do so much more. But we really don't take the time to dig in and see what new functions they have. So we're still operating in the 2010 version because that's what we have time for. So we do a monthly meeting with all of our office managers, and we focus on one process every month to train on. And we just assume, we've been doing it this way forever, so everybody knows how to do it. But as we're bringing in new office managers, sometimes I'll forget, they've never seen that. They didn't go through that initial training and onboarding. So it's a great refresher for those that maybe have been using it, but not to its fullest potential. And then making sure that our new people that come in get the opportunity to really train on each platform, each system that we have.
So is that monthly meeting, would you say that's one of the primary ways that you intentionally work to keep it front of mind for them to start to implement? What else do you do? Are there certain ways that you as a leader are keeping your team members focused and committed to implementing and using these tools?
Yeah, so we do scorecards every week. We Dental Intel, their little, not cliche, their tagline maybe, something that they really put patient-facing or client-facing is what you measure improves and what you measure and report improves exponentially. So we measure a lot of metrics, but then we report a handful of those and hold our teams accountable we should give them benchmarks, and everybody kind of knows where they fall in line with the rest of the industry. And we follow up with our teams on that. So they're seeing the scorecards weekly. We encourage them to speak with their doctor about that scorecard, review it weekly with them. We do our monthly meeting with all of our office managers. And then I do quarterly business reviews with every single manager. And we go through our different platforms and processes during then to find out what's working, what's not, what what would you like additional training on? And then whatever that focus is, I usually try to come up with something quarterly that we really want to improve. And then that's going out maybe on our little group meeting once a week, like, hey, I want to shout out this team that's doing great with this. I'm also really trying to empower our office managers to start sharing and coaching our teams during those manager meetings too, to give them the opportunity to kind of step outside of their comfort zone and become like the KOLs for Catalyst and help teach some of their peers. Peer-to-peer learning is just really special.
Leveraging each other's expertise, that's what I always say, even in the smallest of practices. I'm like, the person that I want training the rest of the team in your practice on a certain system or skill is the person that does it the best.
Yeah.
And often, office managers, I think, fall into this incorrect assumption
that
they have to do it all, or that they have to lead every meeting, that they have to do every training. And that's not necessarily so. If it's a clinical assistant, a dental assistant that is exceptional, these particular verbal skills, I would love to have that person facilitate that topic and train, because that also, to your point, that leverages up more leaders within our team, and it gives them an opportunity to be seen and heard in a different way, and it also frees up the office manager from feeling this very heavy sense of responsibility to always be bringing the
content,
always be bringing the expertise to the table. And quite frankly, and I know this as a business owner myself, I mean, surely we all feel, office managers, anybody that's leading meetings on a regular basis, you have these moments where you think, surely they are sick of hearing me.
100%. Yes. I'm like, I just, it's like a broken record.
Oh my God.
Like the Charlie Brown teacher that, I'm like, here I go again.
Yeah, and sometimes that's why people bring companies like Jameson in. It's not necessarily to introduce something new, but to get through from a different voice of what right looks like and elevating that performance. So having discovering the strengths within our team. I love that you do that, and giving space for other people to share their successes and show people the way.
I have to push a little bit. I haven't had a lot of I call them victims instead of volunteers. I haven't had a lot that are like, oh yeah, I'd love to do that. But when you see those strengths and case presentation or culture, to just, hey, I'd love for you to share that. And then some will take it and run with it and have a PowerPoint presentation, and some are like, do I have to show my face when I talk?
Well, there's a lot of head trash probably out there of people that don't feel like they're worthy or deserve to have the platform.
I feel like that every day. it's just, I don't know, imposter syndrome, but it is, again, just with the office manager, here I am, they're not going to want to hear from me. I think it's really normal to feel that way, to have those inner saboteur moments. Yeah.
So, for all of you that are trying to implement new things, or you're trying to hold team accountable to new habits or improvement or utilizing of new tools that you've invested in, repetition is the key. So to Brandi's point, those regular meetings where you're bringing it back to front of mind and then setting measurable and attainable goals that we can track our progress, but that continuous training, continuous measurement, and then leveraging the teammates that are figuring it out and doing it the best to help their other teammates become more and more successful. Those are such key elements to learning, processing information, retention, and getting buy-in. As we had talked about, it's so important to have buy-in from our team of whatever that you're setting forth for 2026 or for any years ahead. Alignment, something I'm discovering, we're recording this early 2026. It's February.
Groundhog Day. It is Groundhog Day.
The year of January was real long. But we're now in the new year of February. And something I've already discovered with practices and groups that I've been working with this year is they're all very interested in alignment, in getting their teams aligned and focused on the same goals, bought in and going the right direction, and then committing to strategies to help them this year improve their results based upon the vision that they're clearly communicating. I feel like what you're saying speaks to that. Do you find that that's something important for you all in the work that you do or that you're doing with office managers, that clarity and alignment, is that a need?
Yes, absolutely. And it works better if it's their idea and they come up with it and they all, have a commitment from each other to work towards that goal. If it's just corporate told us, which I hate the word corporate, but if it comes like they told us this is our goal and they're just working towards it, but don't really, it wasn't their idea. They didn't buy into it. So the more you can as a team meet together, talk about those goals, discuss them in your morning huddle, and get buy-in and accountability from everybody, I think the more successful they're going to be, rather than somebody just shoved a number at your office and it's stuck there. And this is where we gotta run on the hamster wheel until we hit it.
Well, I mean, it's not that different from our relationships with patients. If you are constantly telling them what they need or telling them, there's not this sense of responsibility or even buy-in from the patient that that's something that they want or need. But if we engage in a dialogue and that real co-discovery type conversation, that's a whole different level of trust and urgency that patient will likely experience because they're a part of that conversation with you. You're not just telling me what to do. And it's the same with our teams. Absolutely. There are things that people need to know and they need to do. But there are these huge opportunities in the areas where you feel like you're underperforming or tools that you feel like you're underutilizing for a conversation to take place at a team meeting where we troubleshoot and we talk about what's getting in our way from really maximizing this tool. When have we used it? Why are we not using it all the time? What do we need to make this a more successful integration into our daily workflow? Because anything new that you're introducing this year is going to be a learning curve for your team. It's taking them outside of their usual customary habits and comfort zones. And so the more you repeat and the more you train and the more you talk about it, the more likely they're going to start to process that and continue to practice until they become competent with it. And there's just so much technology right now.
And none of it's just plug and play, like, oh, we turn it on and everything works perfectly. We still have to work out kinks and discover how this works in our practice. There's no perfect anything I've found. And I've done a lot of demos to try and find perfect, but it's what's going to get us closest to our end goal and what we're really wanting from it. So you have to go into that mindset of, there might be some hiccups and we're going to have to keep an open mind and work along with the vendor. If something's wrong, call and ask for help and don't just, mine's broken. Move on.
Moving on. Yep. Back to the old way.
Yep.
Back to the way how we've always done things.
But you kind of have to have a champion or a cheerleader in your practice that's committed to being that person because, change management's hard and we get naysayers sometimes that I don't want to do that. And if you let that voice be louder than your cheerleader champion, then it's going to be really hard for everybody to jump on board. And
100%. Yes. So 2026. What do you see or what do you anticipate coming down the line for practices that your office managers are going to be on the front lines of addressing or needing to work through?
We've talked a little bit about this, but like phone AI, I think that's a huge...
AI on the telephone?
On the telephone. So we're either going to have to get better on the phone or AI is going to, or we're going to have to start relying that. Not that we'll ever be done with people on the phone, but there is definitely a space for missed calls or, if we're looking at like call conversions, are we bombing? Are we spending all this marketing dollars to bring new patients in the practice, but they never get past the phone call? So being able to really better train our teams on call conversion and how to bring in new patients or rely on an AI agent to kind of help with that. I think we're really going to see a lot happening in the telephone space with AI.
We were, again, in the secret conversation we were having before we hit record. Should have been there. Sorry. We talked a lot about, everybody's trying to jump on the AI bandwagon. Where does it make sense?
Right.
where does it make sense and how does it make sense for companies? And I think, great questions to ask and things to explore is always take it back to your practice's vision, or your organization's vision, or what your top needs are. What do we need to be our ideal more consistently? And what do these services bring to the table that could help us accomplish that? You don't have to get everything.
No.
But you do need to look into the evolution of what's available to us. The trailblazers of dental practices get this, that to become more clear on what do I need, what do I want, what do we need to start, stop, what do we need to seek out, change, and ask the right questions to these companies of, does this create a clear path to help us have more consistency in what we're doing? I think phone AI is scary.
It is scary. It's scary. When we went down the road, it was not a good outcome because it was so new.
Yeah.
But I'm not like just, wiping my hands of it. I think there's a lot of value there.
Yeah.
We just have to find out how our path, and how it's going to best help our patients. Because right now, I have enough data to see that that's a weak spot. And it's not just our practice. It's a lot of places. Because we're sticking the people that have worked with us for 2 days. Here, take the phone. I don't want to answer the phone. You do it. And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So,
that's something in our marketing side of Jameson that AI is really, we're using that more and more from that learning standpoint in terms of measure, on the phone calls, how many were successful, how many did we actually schedule, what were the obstacles that they were faced with, what did we do, what did we not do, and to really give some insights on what's happening in those conversations.
Where we need to train, what we need to help our teams understand so we can help more patients.
And, there's always going to be a human element to dental care.
I'm not worried that AI is going to take my job
It's
ever.
just, we're still kind of a frontline type industry. But it is important as you think about the busyness, and the efficiency of, and it also depends on your model of your practice. How can we serve our patients the best? How can we do our work the best? And again, like we were talking about, where do we need to prioritize our energy in the day and our time the most to get the best results? And if these resources can help us in that, then that's amazing.
Yeah.
But it takes a little bit of clarity, planning, and a lot of demos.
A lot of demos.
A lot of demos, bless. And training.
Starbucks cards. I got Starbucks cards for days.
Starbucks for days. You practically own a Starbucks now in the gift card.
The sad thing is I don't have a lot of Starbucks cards. I just do them.
Oh. You just do them and you don't even get anything.
Sometimes, yeah.
But see, that's good because you're actually genuinely interested in what they're bringing to the table. It's not necessarily because you're getting a gift card out of it. So thinking about AI, I think that's going to continue to be a huge topic. I mean, you're seeing it in all the conferences. You're seeing
year of AI.
More and more and more and more people speaking to it. I think there's a lot of early adopters to it that are probably speaking to it really well. And I would make sure that you do your homework on their experience and expertise in that so that you're making good decisions in your learning. So we'll see. We'll see.
It is exciting, though.
I know.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of opportunity in terms of what AI can do for us in our time management and our efficiency in our work days. I mean, I'm on that learning curve myself. I'm terrible. My team behind here is much better at it than me. But I love the human side, so we just have to marry it.
You can't do away. You have to have both.
We have to have both. 100%. So you're speaking at a regional meeting for ADOM.
There's a couple of them
coming up soon. When is that? Do you know the dates?
March.
In March. You can go on the ADOM website to find out more.
You can. And it's at the Glidewell headquarters in California.
Love that.
I know. March 20th, I think, is the date, or around that time.
I love that.
And then there's another one in Sanford, Connecticut at the Care Credit Synchrony
Oh,
headquarters.
that's fantastic.
I know. So I'm so excited.
And you've been doing some online presentations, some webinars for ADOM and things
Did a couple of those last year. I got to go speak at Dental Intels and Telecon, which was really cool because I love.
And you're participating in the Women in DSO meeting this year.
Moderate a breakout on operations, and how cool is it to get to be that close to some rock star operations leaders in the DSO space?
I love that. I love
It's really
that.
fun.
So for all of you that are out there looking for those people that are coming up in our world, Brandi is definitely a name to be looking for, and she's bringing a lot of great experience and insight to her presentation. So I encourage you to, if you see your name, seek her out.
Thank you.
And know that her heart's in the right place. It's really to help us all be better. A rising tide does indeed lift all boats. So thank you for being with me today.
Thank you for, I really wouldn't, these opportunities would not have presented themselves had I not had you, like from the beginning, helping and putting my name in rooms that I wasn't in. And so thank you. And so crazy, like big moments last year at the Ann Duffy ODA meeting. I'm like, we're talking about mentorship, and in walks Carrie Weber. I'm like, this is just so cool and crazy. So
well, it's
thank
been a
you.
joy.
It's been fun.
You're a good friend.
Aww.
And I love all the things that we've done together over the past
fun.
few years. See, it can be fun, everybody.
It is fun.
It can be fun. So I'm proud of you. I'm grateful. Thank you for coming and being with us again.
Two-timer.
Two-timer. The Two-Timer Club.
Yeah.
And to all of you, wishing you great abundance this year and clarity and focus and making good decisions in your position in the practice and for the practice or business as a whole. You can do this. Repetition is the key, and lead with integrity and lead with something measurable, and you will get momentum. So thank you for joining us. Thanks again to Brandi.
Thank you.
Be well, and we'll see you next time.